everyone, welcome to my second video focusing on Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. For today's video, I asked a few of my friends about their college experience being Asian American and their experience with their cultural identity and being at a predominantly white institution. Thank you so much to Jarrett, Isabel, Tam, and Zendelle for answering my questions and for being in today's video.
My name is Tam, so I go by he and pronouns, and so I was born in Delaware, and for my entire life I've grown up as second generation Vietnamese American. So that experience for me, I think, has been a lot of understanding of the community and what does it mean to have an identity as Asian, because when I grew up, most of the time I always was like associating between different types of faces. So like, oh, do I need to act in a certain group because I'm like within a white space, or like if I'm in an Asian crowd I have to act a different way. It's been a lot of turmoil that I've gone through, and coming to UD, it actually was my turning point within who am I and how can I be comfortable in my own skin. So that's why I found UD FSA, and that really became my first home being Asian American, because I was able to help identify what was my ambitions as Asian American, but how am I able to just live my life without feeling like I'm being categorized in some way. And part of that experience was also now understanding and learning about my own Vietnamese culture within another Asian space, and that's something that I had an incredible journey where I met two of the other Vietnamese co-founders for UD VSA, the Vietnamese Student Association. So that's just been such a crazy time that like I was able to be part of something so big, that not even knowing the full extent of it, but creating that new community for Vietnamese Americans is something that I didn't think I was able to get to that in my lifetime, but now I'm so privileged in a way that I'm in a position to help other people find that clarity for themselves.
Yeah, before college, I didn't really identify with the Filipino culture. I mean, I was just surrounded by like white people all the time, and like it was cool, like, it was fun. I didn't have like a problem with that at the time. But when I got to college, I was just like, man, I need to do something, because I heard there was a Filipino organization here, and my sister knew that too, because she was in her respective organization when she was in college, and she was just like, oh, you should join yours. And I was like, we'll see. But then I ended up going to the first meeting. I really enjoyed my time, and then 3 and a half years later, here we are. At first it was like a culture shock, because I wasn't exposed to Filipino culture growing up as much, and then in comparison to like a lot of the people I've met, they like had that connection. It was nice learning about Filipino culture from like my friends, because it wasn't just like someone older than me and like telling me about it. It's just like people that actually like lived it and grew up with it, and they're like my age. So that was really nice. I've learned a lot in the last 3-4 years. There's always a group for someone. Like you could be on completely different ends of the spectrum, but like you'll always have a place somewhere.
Do you have a favorite thing about being Filipino?
I mean, my answer's gonna be pretty generic, but it's just like the whole community aspect of it. I think there's just a certain closeness that like I have with like Filipinos, and it's just like things that like we like relate to, because like how I've opened up a lot in college in terms of just like talking about like my life. And like in high school I would never tell people about like my problems or like anything like that, because like they couldn't relate, and two, like it just seemed weird telling people about my problems. And then just like being around like Filipinos who just like relate and like open up to, I think that was like the biggest thing for me, just like opening up and telling people like, oh, I'm not okay. Like I think that was like the big thing for me. But yeah.
Sense of identity before college. I feel like I was like low-key lost, but I didn't like know I was like lost. I didn't really identify with Filipinos or like the Asian community at all. Like I very much was trying to blend into like white culture, I guess. And yeah, like you said, I didn't really want to join like FSA, because all my cousins were in their respective FSAs or Filipino organizations. I felt like I wanted to do something different than them, but Jose reached out to me when I was in marching band. He was like, yeah, you should come. I thought it was weird that he like remembered my name and stuff. Like that really stuck out to me. And then so I went to the first one, and then I didn't go to any of the other ones because I was scared. Just like, fall semester of college was kind of rough for me because like I just didn't know what I was doing. I didn't feel like I fit in at all. But after that, I decided to like try to make an effort to like find my place here. So I DM'd Jose again, and he's like, hey, are there any FSA events or whatever? So I went to the first bubble tea. I met Tam there. I guess that was my whole like how I joined FSA.
Yeah.
But yeah, my whole friend group from senior year of high school to senior year of college drastically changed. That was like a big realization for me, like how much my lifestyle like changed, I guess. The people I surround myself with.
And how does it feel to be at this predominantly white institution?
I mean, I'm like kind of used to it because my high school is predominantly white. But I think like because I have like you guys, like it's not a bad experience at all. Like, and I had like my mechanical engineering friends were very nice, and I hung out with them for a bit. Like my experience here specifically wasn't bad at all. Like I didn't experience any discrimination or anything. I feel like people here are pretty understanding. Obviously some people aren't, but I feel like that just happens wherever you go. That's just my experience though. Other people have different experiences.
Yeah, I grew up in like a Filipino culture. The one in Delaware is pretty tight-knit, so I've always been a part of it. So coming into college, it just felt right. There was already a lot of my Filipino friends in it also, so I was just like extending part of that group. At first I kind of didn't want to go because like I already knew everybody. There's no point of it, but I got to know a lot of like people through it, and I think that helped a lot. And like how that connects to like high school is I had a Filipino group that I would go to, and that was my like escape from all the whiteness and like lack of diversity in like high school. And I kind of thought the same thing coming here. Like, it is a little bubble in itself because we kind of use it to run away. We talk about like our problems, and it's nice having that community, but at the end of the day, like I think it makes it blaringly obvious when we hang out and we're like the only colored people in like an area. We kind of stick out like a sore thumb because like we're loud, we're like different colored skin, and like we got different food tastes. Like we also all dress differently. So yeah, it sounds like my college experience. I mean, I think if anything, it pointed out that like there is so few of us around. When I toured here, I was like, wow, there's so many Asian people. Like, oh, like that's fantastic. But then like you live here, and there are barely any.
Yeah. And what's your favorite thing about being Filipino?
Food, a common struggle between all the children, especially with like parents that came from the Philippines. Like we all struggle the way they were raised. That's my favorite part. Yeah.